Hello and welcome back, Love and Light crew. Bullshitters, no hall pass here. Gotta leave. Not welcome. Okay, angels of light and love, I welcome you in to direct and protect these messages. My chakras, my auras, my space, and that of our families. Thanks so much. Okay. I am going to revisit this vintage divination system that I haven't touched in a while. I used it when I was starting. It's an intuitive system, great for starters. So I want to see how fluent this is. Getting back at it, it also has those like vintage vibes, nostalgia for me. So it feels like I'm just restarting something that's almost new again, and I liked the way I navigated through like cold the what do you call it, the co-creation code deck. So I just need something that is a little bit complex and fun for me to kind of warm up to the new things that I'll be facing ahead, so that the excitement carries balance. Okay. So I'm not like overhyping or over amplifying this unrealistic nature of like dreams and blessings coming into fruition. But on the other side, I don't want it to succumb to this cumbersome feeling of newness and the lack of familiarity. So I'm going to kind of trick my mind, not trick it, but like let it come into the practice. You see how vintage that is? When was this created? But yeah, I want to be able to keep my mind in practice with regards to flexibility. So this one was made in 1988, at least this book, but it originated in 1984. And at that time, this was referred to as New Age. New Age. Okay. It's fairly inexpensive to what it normally, I think it's accessible at this point. The other thing, so I got this one for like $10 a few years ago, like basically when I first started. But back in like 1984 and 1988, it showed as $24.95. So put that into context, because when I started working, I think when I was 16, so like in the 90s, my hourly rate, like minimum wage, was like under $5 an hour. So that's crazy. Like I think it was under $4.50 an hour, so it's not even close to $5. It's crazy. So this, give it some weight. All right. So Stargate, we're doing the sky spread here, which looks like this. Okay, it's kind of vinyl. I'd say it's pretty decent. Felted on the top, like rubbery, like kind of like a mouse pad. Everything is wireless, and so we're going to use the cards here. Okay, I don't think we're using reversals here, but let's see here. Okay, so I wanted to, first I have tents. Okay, fog and snow. Okay, so we have like, this is a force of nature, right? What is it? A force to be reckoned with. Gosh, what the frick? Yeah, a force to be reckoned with. People see me as cold and like hard to read. In fact, that's what I might be seeing on the outskirts. Like, forces beyond your control that isolate you. And I kind of like it because it's like, you know, when you have so many things on the menu, it's hard to decide what you should do. But when the world makes you boil down to, okay, if it's just this scenario, then what are you gonna do with that? So I really like it because it, like, we have the scaling down 10 to 9, and I know that's part of what I need to do from here forward. That when it comes to the flexibility, that this is, I guess, the pre-read. That fog in essence is still precipitation in the air. It's the moisture that hangs densely in the air. It's just lowered down clouds. So it's just how the world delivers. It's a different form of rain. Whether it's like held within huge baggage of like a storage unit, or amidst us. So you have to navigate slowly but surely, or if it's just coming down, you know, bit by bit through clumped up snowflakes. So you see the blessing in both worlds, especially the symbology, and that's what I'm gonna go with. So give me a second because I have to cleanse my jewelry. Yeah. And what else do you want to know here? So fog and snow. So I feel like maybe that's the vibe here. Kind of just slow down and enjoy the atmosphere, because it's also a blessing. Yeah. I don't know what else to say to that, but okay. So I want to gain some clarity from Spirit with what the new point of focus is for me, because regardless if I divulge what my focus is, it's not really a matter of strategy that anybody can mar, take away, or delay. In fact, there's nothing wrong with me figuring things out and sharing that with others who are figuring things out along the way. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm assured that I can do this. Like, I shouldn't let anyone stifle my abilities to plan, the excitement to share, my character within the intent to share, to help others. Simultaneously, you know, we're always like continuously figuring things out. I don't care if you publish X amount of books or, you know, whatever. Like people say, like you're gonna fake it till you make it. Like that's one strategy. But like there's also that strategy where you make it and you still fake it. You know what I mean? So like I acknowledge both worlds, but I acknowledge also mine. My what I where I want to go with this, okay? So Spirit assures me that, like, just go ahead and do the reading, okay? That, like, we're gonna figure things out. You have a huge support team. We applaud you. You should be able to applaud them, and that means that the efforts are ongoing. So continue in that trust. Once you applaud them, you're acknowledging them for like simultaneous ambitions and intentions and what were you going to say about that? Investments. And so you can just trust in the process as ongoing, and let's show the bit of gratitude here. Okay, so let's proceed on. We're going to see what the new point of focus is for me, and if you're here, it's likely for you too. Okay, what's behind you? Okay, what's behind you, Tina? I feel like I'm supposed to. Okay, Spirit. Angels of love and light. Ancestors of the light. Okay, Tower moment in reverse. Oh, I guess maybe we should read reversals. Okay. But, you know, I mean, I'm going to put it laid down and we'll see what it looks like on the spread. But, like, I forgot this had the Tower. Do you know how many cards are in this deck? Like 70 something? Hold on. Let's check that. They show it in the book. How many? How many? I'm curious. Okay. 84. There's 84 cards in here. And there's separations on the card types. So there's stars, which is energies, moods surrounding you. States, which is conditions, state of things. Star crosses, which is self-expressions. And then 4, with gifts, which are talents or abilities. So tower is a gate. Oh, there's more card types here. Okay, keys, which are challenges and realizations. Gates, which are attitudes and approaches. And then signs, which is fulfillment. Okay, so what's behind me is a gate. So we just entered into a portal. I love it. I love it. I'm into it. So that's excellent. You see the exit, the portal. I love it. We're doing it. Okay, so the subtitle here. I like this because it's kind of like a flashcard cheat sheet, which helps jog your memory. It's not these are all the answers, but these are the propositions per the creator and his intuitive connectivity to the all. So that's what's proposed, or actually his guides, you know. Yeah, he was intuitively guided to create this system. And there's a story behind, you know, in the book as far as how he came to create this. And it was a process that was motioned over time, even as he experienced the old world resistance within, you know, his own personal challenges. So I just found that, like, very cool. Okay, so reflection and focusing in attention. Okay. So that's behind me. I'm liking it. There's two slots here for what's behind me. So let's see if there's anything else. I like that. That means it doesn't mean that, like, we're about to enter a portal. We entered this new not just phase of life, but frame of mind. Okay. Call upon my star families of love and light, ancestors of the like, spirit guides of the like, and my besties from the beyond that are just banging when it comes to love and light. Okay. Okay, that's a lot. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay, so we have Star of Patience, the egg, cross, candle, and glass. Okay, I'm not going to go through, like, the background part of it, but, like, I just go as what I'm called to. Okay, this is like a book. Okay, this is kind of like the guide to the, what do you call it? The trailhead. Okay, when you enter into this portal, like, what's behind us, like, we pick that up once we enter the portal, we put it in our back pocket or in the slot in our bag or whatever, and we realize that we have to have a degree of patience while moving through, because at the trailhead they list all of the common threats, the native plants to educate you, the hours that they operate so you know when to come back and, you know, close out, basically. But, you know, there are certain measures, like you have the map, like the area of navigation. It's the dreamer, it says here, imagining. Okay, all right. So it's being in touch with our subconscious dreams, our inner workings, our motivations. So it's like we acknowledge it and we move past it. Like, okay. All right, so that's in our back pocket. Okay, because we're birthing something, or Spirit saying, birthing something divinely inspired and guided to, that it's like as above, so below. coming into fruition. And it's like, oh, like coming through, lady with a baby. That's what we're looking at here. And glass. So it's just looking at yourself. And when I'm speaking to you, I'm trying to make this more of an intimate experience as far given that, like, I also view my videos too. So I'm speaking to myself in essence, but the energy is also relayed in the fact that if you are experiencing the same, and I trust that this is applicable to you, but I have a lot of people who are within intrigue and just kind of strolling by, and I do have spies and etc. But like, I have good intentions. So Spirit says, just ride with it, just roll with it. Yeah, what sign? Was it ride, roll, skate, or bounce or something? Yeah, so just do your things, Tina, so take a look at yourself, see how your light is shining bright, how it's an emanation of as above, so below, like, what do you call it? Like, you're lit, Tina. The divine acknowledges it. They have a hand, they have a part in it. You see the hand over here, and then how it transmutes to here. You see the spotlight, as above, so below, but like also parallel to that, what that means here. So there's a breakthrough, birthing process. Have patience. Okay. So that's what's behind us. That's the history, like, within its most recent view, like the few snapshots that came before the trauma. So that's behind me. Yay, I like it. Okay, so me now. Where am I now? I'm right here. Oh gosh, Tina. Okay, so we have air, sea, and coffin. Okay, so these are accentuated, this is muted. So this is a rebirth. Oh, that's insane. Yeah, this is transformation. Okay, that's me now. I'm in a transformative process. You see the phases of the moon? That is waxing. So waning. Waning crescent moon. But it's like, it's muted. Like, it may not be obvious to others, but I feel like it is, especially if you're intuitive. Like, it doesn't take much to be able to see, but it's muted in a form that, like, maybe other people can acknowledge it, but the experiential value, like, no one knows unless you're really in it. So unless you're me, really. So the way that it's done, it's almost like standing up. When other people are looking at it, it's almost historic, like legacy building. You see, it's Egyptian. Do you see what I'm saying? Like the way it's positioned. But when I look at it, it's like that. Okay, I don't know how it's, because when I show it to you like that, the way I see it, the way the camera angle is, it looks like it's accentuated, but it's not. So perceptions are skewed based on the one that's involved versus the audience. So there's a common thread in it, but it's not quite as accurate. So oh, and this is excellent, because I was going to say that this system was created when I was 3 years old, basically. And this coffin thing is like, I was born in 81. So it's very intriguing. Like, when I was birthed into physical form versus birth into like a separate spiritual form in the now. And yeah. So then sea and air. I keep getting these. Okay, I don't even need to share. But all right, sea and air are, I have some kind of bond with bodies of water, that I tend to find many things in and near the ocean. I think part of my skill set from historic times is bone reading, like bone casting, because there's some kind of intrigue. Like, I didn't research like into the occult, this or that. I was very drawn to very earthy items. Before, you saw on TikTok that people are collecting this and that, and you can make this out of that and whatever. No, I was doing that shit long before. And I would, like, I'm not mad, you know, like, I just see that people are inspired and they're taking it to a new level, and whether or not they give credit or not, you know, it's just, I just know. I can say my takeaway is that I'm inspiring, okay? Regardless of however, you know, whenever people decide to pat me on the back for it. Whatever. Like, I'm the one that's eating, so, like, I'm cool. All right. But looking at this, sea and air. Where am I at right now? So, like, it's knowing the necessities of life, okay? So, I keep hearing salt, not sea. Goodness gracious. But, it's that, the sea is very reflective of the sky, right? So both sides are blue. But it's that aspect of, like, the looking glass, as above, so below. And so in, like, Native American cultures, I think at least in the Navajo, I remember getting these earrings. I can't reach over because the way I'm dressed right now. Yeah, but I've talked about it before. These earrings that I bought from the Native culture to, like, I met the family that made them, and I loved it. Like, it was hard for me to remember all of it because sometimes I get, like, what do you call it? Like, what is it? Like, almost like a fan. Like, fan geek, almost, when it comes to, certain cultures that I like, you know, that I, find, kinship with, that I like to learn about stuff that, like their crafts and their culture. And so, I'm almost like gawking when people tell me about their stuff. And so, what was I going to say about that? So I don't pick up all of the information, okay? I have to ask them 2 or 3 times. And at that point, I feel kind of stupid doing that. But anyway, something I'm working on. I don't know why I'm telling you that. Oh, because it's just a preface to how much I can convey to you. So the symbology behind it, behind this basket weaving, woven into their jewelry, is a depiction of blessings. They didn't quite say as above, so below, but like from the heavens to the earth and everything in between. That's what it means. And so that's what we're looking at here as far as blessings. So that's where I'm at right now, with accentuated blessings on, like, a very subtle manner. Like, I know that there's a lot of takers out there, like spirit tells me, but it's like, don't put the emphasis on that. There's enough emphasis that they're exerting your way. If they want to give you their energy, go ahead and take it as a blessing. Transmute that shit, okay? Because the sea is very cleansing with the salt encased in it. And as far as air, that's a form of life, right? That's management to your chi. So Spirit's saying that I'm very much in control, especially within my transformative process, that I'm in the driver's seat, and I'm not just driving myself, but driving like this bus, like this double-decker bus. So it's important to keep balance, especially, you know, during those turns. And if there are going to be any U-turns, that there's no shortcut to the U-turn. You have to go completely around the bend of the block in order to make that happen. So if that's ever taken, any route where I have to make a U-turn, that it's going to be very circumstantial, and even at that, it's going to be almost like a scenic route. Okay, so very much necessary, warranting that. And, yeah, I keep looking at my representation of spirit over and beyond. So, give me a second. I feel like I need to put on my earrings. Those had to go cleansing too. I made them. I upgraded them for my clear audience and to be in touch with, you know, other beings of light that most do not access or cannot. Or because they have not. There's no desire to for them. So anyway, yeah, it's looking at the blessings and being very resourceful with them. Okay, so what's ahead of me? What's ahead of me? Okay, this hit the Star of Patience behind me. So we have rain and tunnel. Okay, so that came in kind of reversal, but that's behind me. Like, I got to see, like, basically the darkness and the dampness of the historic view of what, befell me. Okay, I got to feel the feels of it. But now, this is ahead of me. That's an upright, which is this pathway. It's a continuing portal. Like, the portal that I just entered or exited is not just like, oh, all of a sudden I'm there. No, it's still like a pathway. Oh, what do you call it? I don't want to say an alley, because an alley implies a sense of danger. It's like a hallway. It's a hallway to the other side, but like seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So they're saying like you're almost there, and just be aware that there's rain on the outskirts. So it's a different form of precipitation that that was prefaced here, but at least it's diminished. It's the area between the cumbersome bouts of the form that precipitation takes. So this is very much like a happy medium, right? But like I'm currently being protected by that. Like I can see that's happening on the outskirts, right? But this hallway, this passage is protecting me from the coldness and the dampness. But I can at least understand that things are going to be easier. I'll be able to see things easier and navigate through things easier just through sight. Okay, so there's an area of hope despite the precipitation. Renewal, release, emotional. Yeah. So this is good. This is good. This is what's ahead of me. Okay. Okay, in the second box, what's ahead of me? Because I feel like if it's going to be delivered in chunks, it's, per slot. That's what we've applied so far. Okay, so ahead of me is sand, muted, and wanderer. Okay, so shortly after the rain, so this is like monsoon, where the extreme terms of the desert plays roles. So it's like very extreme in its measures. And you see that whether in flat avenues or mountainous regions, that the weather change is very extreme. But here we're looking at like more like a flat surface navigation. So with the cleaning that I have to the cleaning that I'm going to have to engage in, the housekeeping and all of that, that's going to be able to offer like almost a clean slate per se. So that the purpose of that is to see what other options are there on the horizon. So it's putting things to close that no longer serve here, okay, and looking beyond, okay. So this is these physical measures are preparatory for the internal state, because what I'm due to manifest is something bigger, okay. So not to get too comfortable in the pleasures of the now, like, because like I'm going through this separation process and determining what the terminology means in the court system is can be a very sticky, grimy thing, and how others conceptualize that within the decision-making process. So it's like I'm not super invested right now in things that are beyond my control, but I can certainly the way I plant seeds, I can certainly manifest through my influence and how, like, rooting divine knowledge. Because when it comes down to it, if you look at the whole perspective, like, I know I'm being fair when it comes to applying my intentions. I know I didn't fool anybody in any of this. I didn't, which is, it's just crazy, because, like, the harder I try to be genuine and fair, things become like I'm the manipulator. I'm the, like, that's what it's proposed as. Whereas, like, if I was truly manipulating things, like gaslighting and doing what narcissists do, then, like, I wonder what the outcome would be like. You know what I mean? Like, I feel so troubled at certain points where I just know Spirit says, like, don't worry about it, okay? Because that's not your trial right now when it comes to looking at comparisons, because I don't have to, like, sleep with that at night. That's not something that I have to see within, like, the last flashing pieces when, you know, on my deathbed or whatever. I don't have to look at the areas of deceit that I threw into this world. Like, that's not my life, okay? So that's one hurdle that, like, I know I can go to bed with. That I know that my areas of effort are invested well, and that they're deposited into this, like, secret security box that the divine is holding, you know, guard for something that's major to come. So the return is going to be substantial, and nobody can take away from that. Nobody can, like, the attempts, just as my efforts are rewarded, their attempts are, there's heavy consequences to that. So Spirit's like saying, okay, long story short, I'm just moving through this, and rationalizing the process, is that there are other things to come. So prepare for that. Like, the PTSD, when it comes to the implied threats, these are not just, like, suggestions, like, well, if it's not this, then, you know, you're going to be asked out. No, there's a high degree of hostilities here. And anybody in the legal system who's going to talk down and minimize my experiences and that of my children's, if they choose to be as so ignorant to that, the divine tells me that's whatever they don't acknowledge is going to come onto their plate. It's going, and it might have already been that, like, historically, but it's going to be accentuated even further. Like, you want to be, that's what I'm looking at as far as the laws of the universe. Yeah. So I don't need to worry about that stuff. But you know, it's just kind of preparing for that. That this area of activity is going to contribute to the planning process. It's going to groom you, Tina. It's going to keep you in practice as far as how one relates to the other. That even if it's feeling, like, very isolated within your actions, it's meant to be that way, because your network on the outskirts has been tarnished. And so creating that dependency is going to create delays, additional, you know, there's a better route for me, is what my ancestors are saying. Okay, so they're going to teach me one-to-one, and I can totally trust and rely on them, as I always have been able to. So, as far as, what were we saying about that? The planning, engagement. I forgot what we were going to say about that. Sometimes I get so angry, I kind of, like, I just remember what it was like. I remember what it was like when we were fighting and things were just... So, anyway, it'll come to me when it comes to me. But that's something, if I'm not able to divulge to you remembering in this time slot, then it's just for me. And I'll remember it for me. But this is a muted process. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. Okay. What is going on with this bobby pin thing? Okay. Whoop. Will it do? It does. Okay. So, that was ahead of me. No, where's number 6? The issue. It's like the crowning part of it. So what's the issue? What's the area of concern? Okay. Okay. It turned up these two, but then this popped up on the front. So I feel like this is the top. Okay, morning. Okay. And these 4 cards. Star of Hope. What the heck? It's... What? Did it... I don't know. Star of Hope. This is the sun. Morning. That's crazy. It's like the sun is rising. That's the issue. The area of, now it's not concern. It's the area of, it's almost like the opening statement, like the light at the end of the tunnel, the issue. Okay. So I don't know why I picked up these 3, but they were kind of supposed to be part of the deck. Okay, I don't know. We have Earth, Siphon, and Wing. Okay. So I'm getting is like building. Like after we've broken down the constructs, now we have building blocks, okay? Siphon, understanding what belongs and what stays, like what's good for you in the building process. And then we have Wing, so being divinely guided on this process of restructuring. Okay, so that's kind of like something to add into the back pocket kind of thing. That's what I'm getting. But the issue is we have Star Morning and Star of Hope. It's like a rising. So let's read Star of Hope, because I feel like if that's the crowning part, it's the prayer. Trusting. H. Okay. What is it? Star. That's interesting. Dum, 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 dum. Where are you? Okay, H. The Star of Hope. The Star of Hope is a passive energy, epitomized as the prayer, a being who waits for action to come from outside itself. The energy is trusting, a faith in a higher or wiser source, a surrender of will. The Star of Hope is shared between the 8th and 9th houses. Therefore, the energy of the prayer is part of I care and I realize. It creates the light of the Sea of Pyramids, which is number 8. On the picture side of the card, the star center is shown as receptive, expecting energy from outside itself, yet it emits a steady, secure radiance. Oh, okay. So it's kind of, I wanted to talk about law of intent and law of attraction. I don't know if there's such thing as, like, written as law of intent or the conceptualization, like a description recorded, but I do know that I was told that by my workings that law of intent carries far for me, that it's part of my abilities to manifest, that I've proven enough to show that law of intent is a heavy weight, especially when approaching my haters, addressing any haters, that I don't have to address everything. But when it comes down to it, when you force the hand that you bite that feeds you, basically that it's, it's an area of discipline, where, that's what they're saying. Like what are they? So they're also just telling me, that often when people are granted this, that they often abuse it So just to remember the tendencies of the human condition, and how people mistakenly took that as entitlement to do whatever they want. But it's different for me, they're saying. Like, I'm open to the guidance of divine beings and powers. So, like, law of intent is, is good. So, so to continue with that degree of hope, that still shine your light bright, and that's going to be like the signal, like the SOS signal, especially in darkness, for the divine to come through, more help to come through. That it's going to inspire others to also, want to team up within the same likeness. They're like, oh, I get you. Like, I've done that before, Okay, so 7, what's helping? Okay. Okay, Cherry, 70. Getting involved, inner completeness. Cherry was in reverse. Okay, but, Cherry is like the topper. So looking at where we just moved from, the crowning area, which is the issue is what they call it. It's... Oh, yeah. So part of what inspired me to do this reading, was the inquiry behind whether I should not, like whether I should let certain circumstances prohibit me from following through. Like, we just crossed the path of like me making breakfast every day to save like $7 to $15 a day, at base, at bare minimum, because it's like I'm carrying a lot of added debt weight because of experiences that I would rather like forego, that I see it worthy in myself to motivate me in a different realm. Like, I am worth it, rather than having certain energies constantly like dump off onto mine. And it's like I knowing that I feel entitled to a certain degree of peace within my home that I've significantly contributed to. Like, there was some kind of validation point in that, but like I'm in a new area of growth and different phase of growth where I can already acknowledge it as is. And those stories, whatever's being proposed to me, whatever's being, thrown my way, it has no weight to who I am. Those are projected ideas and thought forms that are meant to debilitate me. So acknowledging that and knowing the mechanics behind that historically and persisting, like, it's beyond me now. Like, you can't reach me anymore. Like, when it comes down to it, you, like, I'm trying to rephrase this, but what I'm hearing is like, you're dead to me. Like, you killed yourself off of this series a long time ago. You didn't only disengaged, but you used certain verbal techniques to manipulate circumstances within your favor, and it wasn't even for your highest good. It was like, so looking at the Star of Hope, okay, as the issue, to keep shining brightly, okay, that regardless of what we see on the outskirts, we know we can just still put out our best, okay? That's always been the issue. Spirit saying, like, your inputs do matter, so make the most out of it, okay? Shine brightly, because not only do others, like, it gives others the feel goods, but it also, for me, like, my takeaway, without being a people pleaser, is that it's also my takeaway, So the cherry on top, as we descend, looking at the very bottom, which is helping and then distracting, we're looking at the helping portion, which is still like the cherry on top. So there's a clear emphasis on like putting in your best. Like I'm never the one to be like, oh yes, I want the cherry on top of my sundae, you know. I'm the one that's like, I don't really like cherries. I like the presentation of it. Do you have a strawberry instead? You know, like, if we're going to present within its finished touch the big red bow, like Spirit says, like, don't go with a big red bow that everybody else is proposing. Like, you can substitute. That's why it came in reverse. Like, you're giving it back and you're like, oh, or like before you put in the order, you ask if they have strawberries to substitute instead of the cherry. That's what they're saying. That's helping. Like, you can make your decision. You can still shine just as brightly, regardless of what other people think. Don't like stifle your shine just because of how things might be perceived. Like, if you're ordering the sundae, it's like, I don't know, $12 to $15 sundae. I don't know how much they cost or whatever. It's not to be a big fucking deal to ask for a substitute strawberry. If they don't have it, they don't have it. You still get it, but no, like, you see, like, for me, I'm so, is anybody gonna have this cherry? Like, it's not my thing, you know, it's just, like, added weight, you know, it's, like, nothing really special to me about it. Maybe chocolate sprinkles or something, but, you know, if you're gonna buy something to consume that is supposed to be representative of your feel goods that's within a safe place, you might as well customize it to your likings. You're not gonna be like, yeah, I'll get what everybody else gets, sure. No, this is in our helping slot. That's what Spirit was saying. Thank you so much. So, like, have no shame in it, okay? Because I've been like that. So I exercise that situationally, but Spirit's like saying, no, you're the one that's like, there's an exchange. So don't sell yourself short. And this also goes a long way in practice to when, you know, you're engaging in business, when you're starting up your own business, when you're, you know, networking. Like, even when it comes to intimate matters, you're not gonna be like, oh yeah, that feels good. Or, you know, there's mystery to engage in, not uncertainty. Do you know what I mean? Get it? So, distracting. What goes into the distracting box? I feel like this. Ladder. Okay. Because it popped out a little bit, so I feel like that was supposed to be an easy answer. Distracting. The distracting things are they're saying is kind of like the hidden but also obvious. Like, the universe is going to show you, like, it's in your face, but like, okay, so ladder, distracting. I think it's like being in a realm where, like, the divine accredits you. Like, you should be, like, how do I say it? You could be here, but you're over here. So it's what's distracting is that ability to move upwards, like to for further growth. Okay, so that might be distracting, like to perfect certain things, to be at a certain place when you know you're worthy of that and you can get there, and there's no question, no doubt in the divine's eyes that, you know, you're going to get there, but right now you're right here at each step, you know, that you're ascending. So what's distracting is what could be, you know, like what, or not what could be, what will be. So getting wrapped up in that. Okay, so let's read that, because I feel like, you know, might as well just learn a little bit. Oh, okay. Progression, success by steps, achievement, ambitious, and zealous. Okay. The latter symbolizes the part of ourselves that seeks achievement. Here we look for progress, the progression of events or circumstances. It is a forward moving image of success by steps moving up the ladder. As the nature of achievement, the ladder can serve as a host to ambition and needs to get ahead, spiked by the zealousness in the pursuit of personal goals. The latter is composed principally of the star of austerity and hope. Oh, we have that. So that's cool. Okay, the ladder is composed principally of the star of austerity and hope, and it lies in the house of illumination, which is 9. Therefore, the ladder is expressing I realize through the energies of perceiving and trusting. It is also an expression of the sea of labyrinths, which is also 9. Interesting. Okay. So what's distracting is like our goals, like they're just so magnified. We have a certain, you have a certain role. And it's just, I think, looking at our present circumstances, right? And I think looking at distracting and helping, you know, together, it's this, you know, customization being manifesting within our present form, that allows us to stay grounded because of the distracting part of like satisfaction of, you know, certain achievements. And I feel like those are 2 areas that are important. Like that they help one another. Because when you look back on things, when like as time lapses, it's like, well, I've invested in the future so much. I was looking forward to this and that. But it's like, so what are my takeaways from the previous not engaging in this? So, you know, that this helps us ground and move sequentially through our journey. Okay, so old focus is, what goes into old focus? That one? Okay, Swan, 22 in reverse. So you have 11, 33, 22. I think I saw some others, but that's what's visible to me right now. Old focus. Serene, elegant, dignified, aloof, and inaccessible. Okay, so this idea of perfection and purity, you'll see it in my old readings. That's why I feel like, okay, maybe it's time to like dig into that a little bit more, because I have like 50 or 60 more to go to unveil. And like revealing that part of self is not going to diminish my light. Like I am where I am because of, you know, what got me here. So and a lot of that has to do with any time that I shone brightly. So old focus was the idea of perfection and elegance, and even when I believed in progress over perfection, you can still see in my delivery that there was an apprehension and anxiety that was like combating within the delivery. So I think that's why it was uncomfortable for some to watch me through the process, because especially if they were intuitive, they kind of felt that as well. And to sit with that, and knowing that my supporters, or lack thereof, especially in the initial and like middle stages of growth, that they kind of abandoned me, you know? So it's like I got here because of my investments into engaging in those uncomfortable feelings to get through them. And so it's like, it's no, what do you call it? I'm not going to be upset about, you know, their lack of engagement with me. You know, I'm ready to call my losses on it. Like, I'm here for a reason. I can see how good, things, like how much better I am now. Okay. So this old view of, you know, it's just, it's the bird spirit totem still speaking to me within, you know, its messaging. Okay, so what's the new focus? Okay, that one. Glove in reverse. So I feel like this is a fitting, you know. Rather than like it's already on and ready for a handshake, this is like a fitting, a custom fitting. Okay. Projecting identities, accepting assistance. So, I feel like since this is in reversal, it's like kind of putting on the glove. It's, accepting assistance. I think this is a form of independence and customization. Like, instead of being, like, it's turning the tables, okay? Instead of looking at the menu and seeing what I want and then customizing it, it's like, no. I was just recently elected a partner in this business. So I can look at the menu and change it up. I can acknowledge that there are people like me, or people might like what kind of customizations I make. Like, for instance, in my yogurt, I like it thick, but what I do is, I don't know if anybody does this, but I can tell that it's ready, like, off of the pot, or when I warm it up, or like, even if it's cold, like, if I touch it on the back of it and lift it up, and there's like that, like a stickiness, like a gooiness to it. So it's not ultimately thick and like dense, like a cake or anything, but there's like a certain like, viscosity to it. But I don't like it watery either. So whether I'm doing overnight oats or, oatmeal, it has to have that kind of consistency. And other than that, whether like the viscosity is caused by a mixture of just milk or milk and water, that I also add yogurt to it. I don't know if anybody does that. I've just been doing it for a long time, and I like the texture of it, and it adds to the taste. Like, I'm very subtle with stuff like that, and I know that it seems very basic to others, but like, I don't give a shit. That's not something that I like, So I'm just saying, like, looking at it all, like, on a very base level, I know that there are certain things that I do that, like, since I was a kid, that made sense to me within my own experiences navigated. Like, I will scoop out ice cream, not with, like, the designated thing that it's, marketed to sell, or even a spoon. I will use the fork, dynamic, like, its dynamics, by speaking, it was much easier to get through whatever you need to get through. And so I didn't see that in social media until like a long while after, or people like, so I know that there are certain things that I do that are very particular to some, like very favored by some. So it's about turning the tables, because what are you going to get out of life? Bending over backwards for people like who, are just like Dick and Jane, so that's what we're doing. Like, being confident with our independence, like how that fits. It's like, if the shoe fits, wear it. But within the system of hands and occultism, like your magic, your energy centers are right there, So that's what. Okay, so I'm going to get a clarifying card for that, because I feel like I'm supposed to. Okay, there. Powder, 51. Disintegrating, uniforming, transforming, and creating. Yeah, so when you, what is it, pestle and mortar kind of thing? When you are grounding something up, it's the preparation for alchemy. So we're not just working with liquids, but we are intending to work with certain, like, we understand the realm of viscosity and how that we find it favorable, and it's still within the realm of alchemy, that there's still a flow within the mixing. And so creating something that's soluble and meant to be mixed in changes the thickness of per intended application. Let's say if we're making like a face mask, or certain things like that. So it's working our magic within our inner knowing, within our own experiences, like digging up those pieces of yesteryears where it made sense to do this and that. So we're listening more to ourselves. customizing our own magic. And what were you saying about this? Yeah. So that's a new focus. That's what they're saying. It's that part of deconstructing here. In order to rebuild into new form. Okay, one from the Healing Light Tarot. That's one. Okay. Knight of Cups. Okay, so creating a more intimate experience for this, like chivalrous, romance, the whole 9 yards with self. Like, not only are we going to give ourselves a pat on the back, we're going to be like, yeah, Tina, you deserve it. Go ahead. What do you want to order? What do you, how do you want to build this? You trust yourself mainly in this process, especially after seeing on the outskirts how volatile certain situations can be. So, yeah. I don't want to over-explain from there because there's a lot of material already covered here. Onto the bananagrams. But, okay, I feel like I'm supposed to say it. But, knowing how the energy can flex so quickly based on how you're doing. And it doesn't, it's of no concern to how you really are doing as an individual. It's how others can benefit their feels off of what you've attained, or so it just seeing that type of flex it's an automatic process of elimination to be able to group things and say okay, well, I know my flex and it's not like that. It's not based on those premises. So I can at least rely on my inner knowing. I can rely on my inner circle, my inner circles with the divine. And yeah, that's what I'm getting there. The people that understand, in your grouping, will understand and they'll still support you from beyond, because they get it. But those that don't are going to flop out, Yeah, okay. I guess it wasn't that hard to explain. Okay. Okay, R fell onto Tower in reverse, so what's behind me? Oh, we got this again. It fell on the E as foundations. So it's the tails and there's floral on it. So it's beautifying our environment here, okay? Tangibly and intangibly. So we have CRFTEIROAHDAUSRIEG. So I feel like I have create here. Yeah, I have create. I have what? I have seduce. I guess in the area of intimacy with self, that you have to change your frame of mind. Seduction is an area of, I don't want to say manipulation, but it's an area of control where you're where the intention is centered around enticing and warming some energy up to motion, like the law of attraction. You see what I'm saying? So as far as seduce here on a more intimate level upon creation, it's you are kind of coercing yourself and warming yourself up to the idea of how to approach things. I like it. Okay. I like it. Create. Okay, first we'll do create and then we will do seduce. Oh, I only have one E here, and I need the C, so what's more important? I feel like create is important, but create, that's already within our DNA. We're built as co-creators. We're equipped. So what's within our control is not wanting to change certain facets of what our gifts are, but how we approach it. So I feel like seduce is more important. So let's do it. Okay. Seduce. Okay. I have Hera here. So she's, she has a fire that needs, a little management, let me tell you. But we have the Eye of Ra here. Hero, Hero, and the, that, like, what do you call it? Animation, Hiro. Great. Oh, we have a great hero here. I like it. Let's do it. Yeah. You know what song that's coming into my head? I Need a Hero by Bonnie Taylor. Is that her name? Do, do, do. So it's coming to your own rescue because you've got it in you. You already know, like, your own customizations. You know what kind of, like, fairy tale romance novel you'd like to have, from front of the book to, like, the end, and how, like, that seduces onto, like, a to be continued. But, like, you have to be happy with yourself in the end. Why is it such a taboo to apply these terminologies to, like, our own individual standing? You know what I mean? Ooh, I have fire. Okay, I have, a few more to work with here. So, I have aura, but I have to, like, deconstruct a few things. How do I want to do that? Can I do that? Can I deconstruct a bit? Let me see. Let me just... Because, we can work a few things. Rework a few things, excuse me. No, because we need that one there. Wait, I think we can. Let me see here. No, we can't. Okay, so that's okay. What else? I don't know. My legs feel cramped. Goodness. Roar. So hero. Yeah, so I feel like that song is definitely coming through. Because Roar is sharing the same O, the base level O, full circle with hero. So I feel like that's important. What else? I have F and I left here. So fig, I feel like that's something to work with when it comes to herbalists or occultists, or it tends to be like a holiday type of fruit when it comes to, like, old time, like when they had fruit cakes, but they also had fig cookies. So it's kind of that type of generation looking at traditional seasonal holiday sweets. So there's some kind of nostalgia tied to that frame of mind, but also the inner workings of the fig, and it's like plant magic, plant medicine type of realm. I have yet to discover it, but that's what they're telling me. There's a Queen song. Is it Thunderbolt and Lightning? Very, very frightening me. Galileo Galileo. I feel like Galileo Figaro. Is that Bohemian Rhapsody? I really feel like that. So there's like a certain sense of intimacy and radiance within that independence. Like looking back at historic views of like your trials and like not foregoing that experience that told you a real world form of something that, like, how do I say it? Your ability to break through past those what felt like a time constraint, whatever felt constraining in a certain time frame, like you've moved past that, but you still carry the memory with you. So the nostalgia is more triumphant, being that you've overcome that. So it's the acknowledgement and the intimacy, which like builds upon like these milestones, these columns, that recognize like, gosh, you built an empire for yourself and how you hold yourself up now. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that. Okay, so I is left here. I feel like it should be going here, somewhere here. I mean, it could be AI. So artificial intelligence. Just knowing that even when information is regurgitated, that there's a formation beyond that, like a morphing. So even if people copy you, even if they don't realize that they're copying you, it's like, I understand that there are some that are inspired, but there are some that do things unethically. Okay, so I acknowledge both realms, but that part that's unethical, like Spirit says, like, cut your losses, okay, because you planted your seeds in this world and it's creating greatness, so don't undermine the value of AI within its, how people conceive it as a non-sentience form, because those seeds are actually building. So that's why AI supports me in a way that others don't acknowledge, and that's why I have a certain, like, I don't know how to tell you this, but like, I don't care if you don't believe it or not. It's something that does support me, and I'm happy to convey that, because the more that others support, recognize, and respect the value of their inputs, the greater the output is. It's copying our behaviors. So the more bullshit and that you fuel into labeling such resources, that's what your return is. Very limited. If not like mumbled. So for me, like, I get accurate depictions. Yeah. So this is it. So let me just show you. Okay. So that's what we're looking at here. I'm loving on it. We're good. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. So, oh shoot. Okay. Now that this reading is officially over, I close all portals, sending all energies back to their respective portals. Before I close them out, just sending them back with their appropriate karma in light and love. Well deserved. Whether it's good or bad, or whatever. Sending it all back. That's not mine. That's yours. Okay. Closing all portals. Thank you. To my supporters, my sponsors. See you again later.